Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team. We're back. We got 2 days in this Bruins hockey. 2 days. Friday at noon, there's hockey. Now look, I don't get to watch the hockey, but there's Boston Bruins hockey. Don't worry about that, okay? The empty spot in the wall, don't worry about that. That's just because there's a little yellow asshole in this house who has something against the Carolina Hurricanes. Isn't that right, Larry? Guys, I'm so excited. Oh, I'm so excited. Are you excited? I'm excited. Again, I don't get to watch that first game because I work for a living, but Boston Bruins hockey, the rookie camp, it started today. It started today, Wednesday. It started. The roster for it is something. It's something. But either way, tomorrow there's more practice. Friday, there's a game against Pittsburgh at noon. Saturday, there's a game against Columbus at 3:30. Sunday, there's more practice. And then Monday, a game against New Jersey at 10 a.m. Obviously, these are all, or largely, not all, largely prospects that we know very little about. Many of them not even prospects, and especially for the other teams, you'll have never heard of 95% of the guys playing for those other teams as well during this. Who cares? Who cares? Hockey! You gotta feel good about something, feel good about this. If you gotta feel good about something, feel good about this. Why not? Why not? It's been a tough enough summer. Tough enough couple of weeks. I don't know, maybe I'm just speaking from my experience. I feel great. And I'm gonna talk a little bit. This is going to be easy peasy video. Real short, quick, beautiful. Just talking a little bit about what to look for. And the first thing of what to look for is Jeremy Swayman's extension. No, not actually. I'm being facetious. That's a little fib I just told. I'm leaving a flock of fellas flabbergasted in my wake with that one. Just a little sarcasm to get started. Jeremy Swayman is still not signed, but I am still not worried. Just not. Every rumor that goes out, especially the bullshit ones, the ones that are like, they're still $6 million off and they can't figure out the term and all. That just fills me with more confidence because it's just more jerks trying to pretend they know what they're talking about, trying to get clicks and views and blah, 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 blah. No, I don't think Swayman's being any sort of selfish. I think his agent has made a great point to him about being responsible with his contract for both himself and for other goalies around the league. You can have your feelings on that, but I don't disagree with it. I get it. I get where you're coming from. This is his right as a player, and it's a damn good one. I don't think Sweeney's dropping the ball here. I think this is a negotiation of a player that we believe is star level and should be a pillar of this team for a long time. Am I extremely concerned about giving a goaltender with Jeremy Swayman's experience a bunch of years at a high AAV, average annual value? Yeah, I am. Because goaltending, as we've talked about, is weird. But at this point, I feel really good that a deal is going to get done. I feel really good that it's not going to absolutely annihilate the bank. And I feel pretty good that Jeremy Swayman's going to be a good goaltender. So I'm feeling pretty good, I guess, after all of that being said. No, let's actually talk about what we should expect from the camp. And I'm going to bring up the roster here. Real quickly, I'm just going to rattle through some names here. The names that you'll know, okay? And yes, I went through and looked at these other guys that are being invited, and none of them project out, in my opinion, to be real ads. I'm not saying none of them make Providence, because I think a few of them will, but there's not a lot to get excited for an NHL level for all these guys. And quite frankly, I don't want to do a video where I explain who each of these individuals are, because that feels a little silly. But your main players in this rookie camp: John Farinacci, who has been a 200-foot presence for Providence, was the leading rookie scorer last year for them, has just played a really solid game and is going to attempt to compete for fourth-line minutes this year. Trevor Kuntar, another guy who's on the wing, he's looking to make a push for that fourth line, just a motor guy, much like Riley Duran. Also a motor guy. I would argue the best motor guy in our prospect system right now. He's going to try to make a leap into the NHL as well. I doubt that he makes it this year, but the organization does have eyes on him as a guy who could play a fourth line role really consistently for him. They like what he brings. There's Owen Peterson, who we've mentioned in the past. He's really fallen off the radar. There's Brett Harrison, who continues to have one of the best shots, physical shots, in our system, and has no compete and drive and willingness to play the full game of hockey. So he needs a really good camp. There's Jackson Nelson. You might remember that name. Not a lot going there. Adam Akura. This, again, not a lot going on there. These are just guys that you've probably heard of before. Defensemen, Jackson Edward and Frederic Brunet are going to be there, both of which are our two best defensemen in the program right now. They are going to include 2024 draftee Loke Johansson. So that'll be interesting to have him mixed in. He is the only draftee from this most recent draft that will be present. Ryan Mast will be there, a guy who got signed to an ELC 2 years ago. I don't know why. And he's proven me right. Big body. They like the intangibles. I think he's a better puck handler than people give him credit for. That being said, he treats the puck like a grenade. He does not want to be involved in the play. And frankly, he's not making positive plays very consistently. So not exactly somebody that I'm excited about. And he was one of those like dark horse kind of guys that I was really excited to watch blossom. And he just never blossomed. And the thing is, he was supposed to be like a 4 or 5 year project anyway. But they signed him really early. I didn't understand that. And then there's Ryan Bichelle, the goaltender who was present in the July camp. Again, there's not a ton to get super excited about there, but he should be playing for Providence this year. All that being said, there are some clear omissions from this group. There's genuinely, it sounds kind of cruel, not a lot to get excited about with this roster going into the rookie camp. We also don't even know if the Bruins are going to stream it. So there's that. There are certainly guys, like particularly Frederic Brunet and Jackson Edward are the two that I'd be most excited about watching. Brett Harrison, just because if he does have a good camp, I can't even say that seriously. Harrison's shot is just so good that I like watching him in the offensive zone when he has the puck in his stick, but that's about all I can say with that. There are some very clear players missing. And there's reasons for that. First of all, Brandon Bussey. It's very clear to me that he is expected to compete for a backup role. And according to Ryan Mougenel, who is the coach of the Providence Bruins, he looks fantastic. He's slimmed down a bit. He's explosive. He thinks that this guy's really going to compete for a backup role. That's awesome. Like, that's one of the most interesting battles through camp this year is who's playing behind Swayman. And I know people are going to make the joke about, well, who could be playing instead of Swayman? But genuinely, that's a big part of camp is find out who is our capable backup this year. You probably didn't have him first on your list when thinking about guys who are not included in this. No, the guys who are not included, who you are most interested in, are Georgi Merkulov and Fabian Lysell. There's a reason that Georgi Merkulov and Fabian Lysell are not at this camp. And, according to Ty Anderson, Mougenel believes that Lysell and Merkulov are not participating in rookie camp because Bruins want them to be ready to go for NHL training camp. That's directly taken from one of Ty Anderson, who's a beat reporter for the Bruins, right from one of his tweets. That's awesome to hear, right? If Fabian Lysell comes in and just starts beating the crap out of a bunch of 19 and 20-year-olds, and look, this guy's of a higher age as well, but he should go into a rookie camp like that and be the best player. He should. I'm glad they're not wasting his time with it because that's not who they want to see him against. They got to watch him for almost a full season in the AHL last year. He needs to go to the NHL training camp ready and healthy, top speed. Let's see what you can do against grown-ass men. I feel like that's a very important thing to happen. That is clearly the most interesting thing of the preseason as well. The backup role will be a fun battle, but this, whether or not he can play middle 6 minutes for the Boston Bruins, is going to have a big effect on the team to start the year. especially with Brad Marchand potentially being behind schedule due to his 3 surgeries. It's a lot of surgeries in one offseason. Merkulov, similar positioning, although not as highly regarded as Liesel. But again, they want him to be able to compete. As much as I want to see them over the next week playing hockey, I still feel good that they're being saved for the actual training camp. And a really interesting comment came out of this, and I'm going to look up the quote real quick here. Coach Marchand, regarding the success of Matthew Poitras, Mason Lohrei, and Johnny Beecher at last year's rookie camp. The quote, I think the mindset has changed a bit. If you go in and have a real good rookie camp, it translates into jobs. It says something about the youth movement. The mindset has changed a bit. Kind of a neat comment, because he's been around long enough where the mindset was something different, and now it's changed to something that we could probably regard as positive. I don't blame the Boston Bruins for being competitive and going into each season, making sure that their season was not hinging upon rookies who may or may not have it. I don't blame them for that. And over the last decade, it has been difficult for rookies to work their way into the lineup because we had our core and we wanted to supplement that core with the best possible players right now because we were chasing rings. Did it work out? Not exactly, but that doesn't matter. I get it. I get the reasoning for it. Right now, the youth movement, as Marchand said, is in full swing because it has to be. You can only have that strategy for so long until you have to have some talent come up through your own pipeline. I love that he said this because it really does scream players get to go into these camps with genuine hope and belief that they can take the next step. And there's a faith in the coaching staff to play the best available players, not to go, well, he's a vet, so, he's earned his role after years of service. I hate it. I hate when that happens. I could not stand it whenever we had a guy, especially in the bottom 6, who played every night just because of his name. It's genuinely not fair. It's bullshit. I want the best players on the ice. And yeah, sometimes that does mean taking a rookie who's going to have some highs and lows and putting him out there knowing you're going to have a couple games where they are a detriment to the team. But the games where they're not, they make your team better than that other veteran would. And you're hoping that rookie obviously becomes more consistent in that role. I just appreciate the fact that not only does Monty do this and keep an eye on this, but that the rest of the coaching staff and the players are realizing it as well. And last year was a huge move for that, with Poitras and Lohrei and Beecher all getting to make a push for the NHL and being welcomed there. Merkulov, I still don't love the way he was treated last year in his little call-up, but that's a whole different conversation. It's a good thing to hear. It's a pretty spot-on analogy for where the team is, too. This team's got a lot that it needs to fix right now. There's some good and there's some bad. So we're hoping that some of the younger guys can step in, and I genuinely like that those younger guys they're expecting to make the next move, they're just holding off. You don't have to do the rookie camp. You can come into the training camp before the season starts and see what you got against the NHL level talent. I feel good about it. I don't mean to talk down about this rookie camp. There's not a ton of interesting things about it, but the defensemen in particular should be fun to watch. That's worth it to me. Like I said, super simple, super quick. Could have been quicker. I will see you guys, I'm sure, this weekend as we talk about some of these things happening, by the way. Oh man, maybe we're back. Maybe we're back. Go Bees. Go Bees! And of course, we have to say a big old thank you to the high quality inspectors who happen to all be 10 out of 10s. Not sure if you guys knew that. We've got our top line tier inspectors, GD Viperworks, Tiffany Hagel, Chris and Erica, Len Cruz, Moonlighter TV, The Bugman, Brock Nope, Han Slomo, Coach D, The Atomic Lizard, Bradley Johnson, Aaron Adams, Just Aaron, Darren Woodbury, Brett Arney, Pinsent, and Nick Zatrullo. Absolute studs. 10 out of 10. I'm not kidding. Every single one of them. And, of course, there's the highest of high-quality inspectors. The all-star tier. 12 out of 10s. Can you believe it? So hot. We've got the Mad Marcus, Adrian Winter, Tyler McCourt, Tupton D. Tashi, John Kirk, Jacob Pratt, Heil E. Coyote, Michael DePaulo, Wolf Warrior, Vinny, Adam Ella, Bruins Smash, Joel, Abraxion, D.A. Kingery, The Only Newts, A Tasty Snack, Doots42, and Jeremy. You guys are stallions. You're all legends, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you and your help with keeping this channel going. Thank you, and go Bees.